You know, when I woke up today, I didn't really have the intentions of working on a Massey Ferguson with a Chinese 13-horse engine in it. So anyways, here's a Massey Ferguson with a Chinese 13-horse engine in it. Long story short, it's my boss's girlfriend's dad's originally. He passed away, he inherited it, and he wants me to do a little bit of wiring on it and some other things, so let me quit yapping. We'll get to work and get this thing fixed up. Welcome to HP Small Engine. Yep. So, a gentleman that worked with my dad, his name is Bob. This was his tractor. Years ago, these Honda clone engines came out around town. There was a company that was selling them. My dad bought one, Bob bought one, a few other things. This, I don't know what happened to the original engine. I think it had a 10-horse Tecumseh. I'm sure a lot of Massey guys are probably throwing up right now. Well, it is what it is. But the plan for this is the exhaust points directly at the front, and it actually melted the headlight bezel a little bit. I'm going to get the exhaust out, pointing out of the way. That way we don't have to worry about that anymore. And wire the ignition back onto the tractor. I gotta double check and see how that's gonna work out. I don't know how the wiring is on this. I have no idea, which I'll explain as I go. It's really easy stuff to do. But this does run good, and it needs a couple minor things fixed up, like greased. I don't know if you noticed the front wheel on that side's black. This one is not gray at all. It's just solid grease. So we'll go through and fix it up because they want to use it to rotor till their garden. Came with the tiller also. So let's quit yapping and let's get this exhaust pulled off at least. And then I got to mount the hood back on there. And then I'm going to work right around it and get that exhaust exactly how I want it. Because I have an idea. I think it'll look really good on this. Okay, this is these two nuts are 13mm. They should just pop right off. I think that's cast iron, so I can't really. I could probably weld on it, but I'm not gonna try. Like I said, I have a decent idea of what something I want to do, so we'll just try that. But yeah, like I was saying, years ago, these were, I think, before Predator engines were a big thing. Save this gasket. I think it looks pretty good. Well, that's kind of unique. It looks like just a couple pieces of steel pressed together. Never leaked. Heck yeah. All right, let me get this set over on the bench. I'll probably pull this bottom piece off and just get an idea of what I got to do. But on the bench, get the hood on there, and I'll explain my plan. There. The hood's actually attached. Now, herein lies the problem. Bam. I've got like 2 inches to get an exhaust pipe to come through there. But check this out. Can you see down there okay? So here's the deal. I'm going to take the hood back off, but that looks like it will fit right in there and go right up. So what I need to do, I might loosen this side up, see if I can get enough room to slip this on, then I can mark out where I need to cut and turn and everything. But this is an exhaust pipe off of a Briggs single vertical shaft. I can't remember what horsepower, but either way, it was. I'm like, man, I could use that for something. Well, here we are. So let me get this loosened up a little bit. I want to slip this on, give you a rough idea what my plan is, and then we'll go from there. Okay? All right. That was easy. No, I ended up having to ream the holes out a little bit, but obviously the hood's not there anymore. So this is what needs to happen. This needs to go straight up for about 2 inches. And I got another piece of pipe over here. Let me go grab it. So to go up 2 inches, And then I'll put a 90 on it pointing out, which obviously I'll trim this down, make it match. This is all just random exhaust I kept off of mowers because, you know, you never know. But my main plan is, let me back you up a little bit. I want to come out, have a muffler, and then like a little stack. I have this little muffler over here, but I don't know how well it's going to work. No idea what I say that off of, but even if I could do something like this, far enough away from the hood that it doesn't burn it, and weld a stack or something at the top of this. I've got some of this 90-degree stuff I had from a while ago. I can cut it off like right here, have a cool little muffled stack. That's the plan though. But plans change as things happen, so that's the biggest step I need to do. But I'm going to take a little bit of time to think exactly how I want to do that. Besides that, I got to fix this drive belt because when you push the clutch in, it just flops around. So I got to figure a way to put something kind of like if you watched my Sears video where I had to adjust the clutch there. Same situation. I got to put a stopper for the belt that pushes the belt up off of the drive pulley. So let me do a little bit of thinking, a little bit of staring at it and smelling my hair melt. I guess that's how that works. I don't know. I'll get back with you though. Well, as usual, I finished it. Got ahead of myself. Oh wait, it's not there yet. No, it's out drying. I just put a coat of high heat black on it, but I will get it put on, put the hood back on, and see what you guys think of that. And once that's done, it's electrical time. Yay. Actually, that won't be that bad. I also want to know from you guys, I was tossing the idea around about, I did the Cub Cadet full wiring harness. I have to do another one. Let me know if you guys want to see another video of that. Just put a comment down and let me know. But anyways, let me go grab that exhaust, get it mounted on, get the hood back on, and let's see what you guys think about that. All right, show of hands, who wants to see it? 4? Really? All right, that's enough for me. Check it out. I don't think it turned out too bad. I had to do a little bit of modification right here. Just had to bend this out, but I don't think it turned out terrible. Should sound good. I ended up putting another coat of high temp on there just to make sure it's on there real good. And of course, exhaust wrap because I don't want to get anything hot right there. But that's done. I would start it, but it's like 2 a.m. I don't really want to wake my son up, or much less my wife, because she can beat me up more than he can. I guess the next step would be electrical. So, like I said, we'll hop back over here and I'll show you what the game plan is, and we'll go from there. Well, anyways, as you can see, we got a starter right here, starter key, and this actually is what engages it and stuff. We're gonna take all the wires that go to this and reattach it to this original ignition, and that's gonna require figuring out where the wiring harness runs and pretty much finding this wiring harness, tapping into it, eliminating all that to go to there. And while I'm doing that, I gotta see if there's any way to... Can't really do anything with the choke. This is a very similar, obviously, setup to a Honda Predator and stuff like that. It's literally, they're all the same thing. Just this one's a lot older. But we'll get in there, probably pull that out. Matter of fact, let's walk around the other side real quick. There, well, this looks like some goodies. I don't think I have to mess with a whole lot. The winch, I believe, is hooked to there. runs to there, runs back to there. That's for his setup he's got back there. So, pretty much all this wiring right here. I got to figure out what goes where and does what. Unhook it and splice it into that. That should be easy. All right, work week's done and over with. Let's start tearing into this. I went ahead and pulled the whole unit off the engine, and I pulled the bolt out of the back. So we're gonna open this up and see if it'll open up. There. Here. She's tight like a tiger. Okay, there we go. I just gotta take a peek in here. We got a relay and all kinds of goody stuff and a fuse. All right, so I gotta pull the key out. I'm gonna have to pull this whole unit off. Let me grab a pair of pliers for that. All right, let's get this yanked off here real quick. That's too far, isn't it? Nope, we're good. All right. So this should be basically just the key switch. I don't think there's a relay in it. I think I'm just weird looking. But anyways, well, there's a relay. I know this is the fuse. So, okay. Let's try to get the starter switch out of here. All right, it's all fused together. Perfect. Well, it's basic 3-wire. 1, 2, 3. And that's all that came on this rig. So, well, it should be just 3 sections. Let me check in there. There's a couple more. We'll figure it out. I have a switch I can actually make this work. So let me look for it real quick. We'll get you guys reset and we'll show you what my plan is. All right, let me show you what we got going on. So I got this. It's got 3 wires set up into it. And a bunch of this stuff is like a safety thing. And we don't have to worry about a lot of the safety stuff. So let's jog around. I'll show you the other side of what I'm looking for. So all I'm worried about is I need a wire to engage this solenoid. I need a wire to ground the coil when it shuts off. And then I just need a wire to go from battery to the starter switch. So I'm going to figure out where all the wires go and come from and stuff, which is pretty simple to figure out. You figure out where your wire comes in at. So here's your hot from your battery. And then what wire ties into that is this one right here. And that is loose, very loose. So we'll fix that. But this wire right here is your hot from your battery. Let's go back around this way. So that is this wire right here, which is a white, solid white. So now here's this setup. Let me get this untangled here. It's kind of hard one-handed. So you got solid white that goes into the fuse and then goes back. I'll probably use the fuse just for safety measures, but that makes sense because your direct power going to the switch should be a fusible link, which it is. Cool. But anyways, you look at the back side of this. Let's see if it's labeled. If this thing would focus off of the darn, get in there. I can't see. I'm going to have to pull that out. Okay, so we'll pull that switch out, take a look at it, and see if we can actually read it. Okay, let's have a quick talk about this before I show you what I got going on. So this switch is a 3-place, I call it. You got off, run, start. There's no other angle, whatever you want to call it. This one is out of the tractor. It goes off, accessory power, or run, accessory power, so yes. So for like headlights or something. And then start. I don't need 4 spots. So let me grab this one. This is out of the old white I have. Off, run, start. So I'm going to use this one for this because I don't need the 4-place. Then I'll keep the 4-place for something else. So let me clean this up a little bit and see what goes where. This one's actually labeled, so I'll show you once I get a little bit cleaner and you can actually read it. But this Makes it a lot easier. So the main reason why I wanted to check to see what kind of switch this has is because they actually, like, these are both 5-prong, but they're wired differently. As you can tell just by looking at them, the posts go in different spots. So this one being labeled, we'll just set that down. If you can see right there, it's labeled B. There's your battery. This one's labeled S up top here for start. Even has S on the side. Yes, it's a little dirty. I sanded on it, try to get a little bit of bare metal to stick out. But so I have battery and start. And then down here, it says G. That's ground. So there's your input power, start power, and shut off. The other two aren't really necessary. So that's what we're going to use. But we'll hop over there real quick. I'll show you inside under the dash there, explain you where the power is according to that and why it's different from this. So if you look at this, remember, if you plug it in, it'll be the bottom one right here. So let's hop over there and I'll show you. All right, so from the way you guys could see it, let's turn it this way a little bit. So that'd be the bottom one right there. Well, now it's the green because it's goes here, goes around, and boom. So I would have to, which you can even see there's one not used. I'd have to take this out and move it to the bottom, which is not a big deal. So I'll do that and see if we have continuity going through there. And if that's the case, I could probably just take this and put it right on the solenoid and be good to go. And not have to worry about moving a bunch of wires around for that. So let's do that real quick and just see, we'll run the tester and see how everything works. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is check for continuity, just to make sure that that inline fuse is not bad. I have it on beep, so you guys will be able to hear it. I'm just going to touch the stud for the solenoid, and I'm going to find the green wire. Well, okay, so that means that wire's good. So if I were to hook the battery up, I could probably check for 12 volts. So let's go to 12 volts. I'm just going to shove this in here a little bit so I can, probably from the back side. Nope, it doesn't want to. Just stay in there for me, please. So anyways, I'm just going to set this up here. This is the ground. Hopefully I can get it to get a little bit of a bite. That way I don't have to mess around too much. Turn it down a little bit, just enough to hold it there. Okay. So now let me set this up so you guys can see it a little better. Okay. Hopefully you can see it. All right. We're going to put it on the post. And then we're going to touch it to the green. I can't read it. Do we got 12 volt? I don't see anything. Nope. Okay. Well, then again, it should have power here by now. Nope. All right. Bad ground. I'll blame it on that. Let me get that ground set up a little bit better. Then we'll try again. A couple things. One, I'm an idiot. I put the wrong wire on the positive side of the solenoid. But when I figured that out, it works. It's weird. So we'll just ground to the battery. And then I'm going to touch the green wire for the battery going into the switch. And we have 12 volts. Perfect. So now I have this whole plug undone. Get the plug set back up for the switch we're putting into it. At least have battery in, then I got to go to start. We'll work on that here in just a minute. So let me get this battery unhooked, get this wired in correctly, and we'll go from there. Alrighty. Okay, so now it's time to figure out how to ground the coil. So 99.999 all the time, when you're grounding the coil, you'll see a wire that goes in behind the shroud, which is this brown wire right here. So the way we're going to test that is I'm going to put the tester right in this wire connector right there. And now I'm just going to touch the ground. If it beeps, that means we have continuity, which means that is the ground for the coil. So now we're going to use that. I'll get another connector and bypass all this gargly goop, which I'll show you what most of that does, but we're going to take that and run it up to the ground part of the switch. So let's get moved around and do that real quick. So when you're trying to figure out how to do the shut off for this, let me show you. Like it says G for ground. This actually comes from here out to a ground. But right here is what you want to run from the coil in. So let's have this, right now it's on off. Let's put it on run. And you go here, and here, and there's nothing. But as I turn the key off, that's what you need. I need to clean this up a little bit so I get better contact. But the tab off to the side will be where that comes from the coil to this, and it comes out of here to the ground, which I'll chase. I'm pretty sure it's just this black wire tucked in here, but I'll get that cleaned up. That'll be wire number 2 we needed to figure out. Awesome. Okay, now it's time to shove the old switch in there and just make sure everything's working right. But let me show you what I did first. That way you guys can keep along or keep up, whatever that phrase is. I am not figuring out how to talk this morning. Sorry. Anyways, let me switch you over and show you. So in here, this is to the coil. That's brown wire, so I just ran a blue one. Tied it right into this brown wire, which goes into there and goes in the coil. And then as for the ground, used a black wire and literally grounded it right where the ground of the battery is. So if this works right, I'll hook the switch up. I'll put it on run just for, suspense purposes. And then we will see if it'll ground it. Let's find out. Again, I'll put it on sound so you guys can hear it. So let's see, switch is on run. Let's plug her in. Okay, turn this back on, put it on yell at you. So if I touch this and in the ground hole, this should be 0 continuity. Yep. So now if I turn the switch off, we should have continuity. Should have continuity, but we don't. Why don't we? Am I doing this incorrectly? Might have bad connection. Let me mess with it for a minute. Apparently I had a bad ground on the frame. We got that situated. Okay, so let me again show you guys what we got to do. I'm just going to plug this in, and if the ground is correct, we should be able to go here and ground it. It doesn't, still don't want to do it. Work with me. Switch is acting weird. Probably got to clean it up more. But anyways, let me bypass this. So here's the ground, and this goes to the coil. You should have nothing right now because it's open. When I plug the coil in, now I should have, perfect. So I'm just going to have to do a little bit more cleaning on this because I know it works, it's just dirty. I'll take care of this, we'll make sure everything works by the key. We'll go from there. For the 75th time of trying this, let me show you what I came up with. Got it. Just a little bit too rusty. That's okay, we figured her out. Well, now there's one more thing we need to do, and that's run power from the starter switch to the solenoid. I'm going to figure out what wire that is, save as much as I can, run it up to here, and then we get to test it. Sounds good? Okay. So one thing you always want to remember doing while electrical working and stuff and junk is always run too much wire. Because you don't want to get this close to what you're working on and can't reach and be like, It's a lot easier just to tuck a little extra wiring out of the way than get mad, throw stuff across the garage, and you got to go find it. Not that I just did that. I didn't. I promise you, I didn't. But anyways, so I end up obviously finding the wire that goes to the solenoid from the old wiring harness, and it's the black and white one. Now I'm just going to do my heat shrink connectors that I love from Amazon. One of these days, if I can find the link of where I bought these from, or Amazon. Anyways, if I find the link, I'll put it in the description. But these things are nice. The only thing is, I use a lot of just one size. Half of these I have no use for, but that's okay because I will still hold on to them just in case. But I need the 22 to 18 gauge. They say to use a heat gun. I use a very concentrated heat gun. Just don't be dumb. Just it's fine. So anyways, here's this. This will go directly into the switch. That'll go directly on the solenoid. I'm going to chase this down with the stock wiring harness. That way it doesn't look too gaudy. And get this plugged in, make sure it's in the right spot. And then we will test, which that'll be very easy to do. I'll show you here in just a moment. Let me get this plugged in and ready to go, and we'll jump over to there and see how it works. Okay, battery's hooked up, switch is mounted. We'll do a quick test. Okay, this should be run, and then it should be start. Okay, choke it and let's see what happens. Cold blooded. And off. Okay. Rude. So remember about, 8 minutes ago or something when I was explaining that, this brown wire right here is for the shit. It's not. That wasn't for the coil. It's actually this one. This one right here. That goes to the coil. So now, it'll run. It'll shut off. Whoops. Anyways, now that that's situated, I gotta fix the belt thing. Let's go to that side and I'll show you what I gotta do. So this, much like my Sears or wheel horse or anything along the lines of that, when you push it down, it pushes the belt forward. You gotta be a man to do it though. You let off, it goes backwards. So what needs to happen is something needs to go either or something. So when the belt comes forward and it's flopping around, it'll push it off of this pulley. Right now it'll bounce, but it keeps constantly grabbing a hold of the pulley and it won't stop. So I got to find a metric bolt to put in there or wherever, and just make something that's really, really close to this belt. So when you push the clutch in, it forces it away. Because what it is when it's spinning this way, the back side of the belt will hit whatever that is and cause it to push the bottom out. So let's start this up, show you what it does, shut it off, and then show you how we fix it. So let me come over here and start it up for the 177th time this week. Then you push it down. See, the belt's supposed to stop. You see it's not. We're going to fix that. very easily. Yeah, that was easy. I literally just found this piece of flat stock with a hole. I think this is 3/8 rod. I don't remember. But just welded it to it, bolted it where it's nice and snug. All it's got to do is keep that belt from flopping around. So let's get this thing fired up and see if this works. Alright, key on, shoulder. And push the clutch down. Perfect, that's all it needs to do. Good deal. That's what we wanted. Get this darn hood dropped. I think we need to take it outside for a drive. We gotta hurry up for the little man hears it running. Cool. Sweet. Alright, I'm gonna stare at it for a minute. Okay, that's good enough. Let's go. Gotta move some crap. I got all kinds of stuff in the way. Yes, first time this has used its own ignition in 15 years. It was just driving a couple weeks ago, so it's fine. Alrighty. Yeah. Reverse. Beautiful. And she's ready to rock. Don't fall off. She's on send it, bud. Get in neutral. There we go. That's a little better. Didn't hit the truck. We're good. I'll be back. So the clutch in this works fine. It's just way higher than what I'm used to. Alright, and we're off. See, if we're sitting right here, you can't even tell it doesn't have a Tecumseh in it. The exhaust looks, it sounds really quiet, really good at the same time, you know what I mean? Yep, variable drive. It's only in 2 in second gear, and I feel like I can pass cars on the freeway. My grass looks so green on video. These are beats. Nice little tractor. I feel like I'm sitting on the ground though because the seat's so low, but it's not that bad. Let's try a higher gear. What do you think? And third. Oh, we're out of here. Oh wait, that was third. That wasn't in second. Oops. That's second. That makes more sense now. Whoops. Let's see what first is. Oh, alright. Sorry about the crotch shot. Oh yeah, super grainy. Let's move this down to Juan. Now we're talking speed demon. Hurt. Brakes work great. Cool. Well there, another tractor off the to-do list. Now I've just got to work on everything else I have sitting around the house. Which is actually getting kind of thin. I've been selling some stuff. That's kind of nice. Anyways, don't mind the smoke. That's just, you know, paint burn. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Still got a bunch of stuff to work on. I really hope the old guy that owned this before, Bob, really likes what I did to it. I know he's been gone for quite a few years now, but he was always a nice guy. He always thought I was a nice guy. He didn't know me as well as he thought, but hey. All right, I'm gonna quit yapping. I got more stuff to get working on. So, yep. You guys have a good rest of your week. We'll see you hopefully next week. Bye.